Hey everyone, Connie here today about another video on Bay TV. We're back with my Haverfordwest 3, Colwyn Bay 1 player ratings for us, the Bay, the Seagulls, Colwyn Bay, if you like to say, whatever you like to call us. But yes, we're back and we're going to go through my player ratings. To be fair, they did alright. They did alright. Like I said, in my back reaction, they did okay. They weren't the worst, not the worst performance I've seen. I've seen worse. I could probably name him now. Pontypridd when we lost 4-0. That was unacceptable. And also the Aberystwyth away second phase when we lost 1-0. Might have been the first phase. I don't know. When we lost 1-0 when we went down there. Yeah, that was unacceptable as well. And I think that was the game where I gave the ratings to the likes of Udis and the Matties 2s and 3s, but it was poor, really poor. But no one gets less than a 5. Putting out there, one player gets a 5, and we're gonna get into it right now. And it's also gonna be a very long-winded one because we used all 5 substitutions. So yeah, we're gonna get onto it and hopefully quickly as well. We're going to start off with Rhys Truman. Rhys Truman gets a 6 from me. Reason being is made that one faulty mistake, but ultimately he did really, really well on that. If it wasn't for him, maybe it could have been more. His first goal couldn't do anything about, and second goal maybe, but that's just defending. We're not winning the header there, and ultimately it just goes in the back of the net, in the bottom corner. And the third goal is obviously him making a mistake, but other than that, I think he did okay, and Rhys Truman 6 from me. Well done, Rhys. Next up is Dan Davis. Dan Davis gets a 5. He gets the 5. Look, he made a few good tackles second half, which probably boosted his rating up by 1 or 2. But yeah, ultimately Dan Davis, I think we've seen better days in him, and his tracking back at times was a bit slow, but to be fair to Dan, he has just had an injury. He's just come back from injury. He's not had many minutes in a Bay shirt. He's trying to get used to it all. So Dan Davis gets a 5 from me. Next up is Sam Hart. Sam Hart gets a 6 from me. Remember, Sam Hart came off. I think 60th minute, something like that. He came off sometime second half because he was ill and is still ill apparently. So Sam Hart gets a 6 from me, which is the average rating, and Sam did the best he could. I know he gave away a free kick, but if that was a normal Sam Hart, he would not have gone in for that challenge. He would have stayed back, and I don't think he was thinking in that moment of time, and just, it happened, and it happens to everyone as well. But credit Sam Hart and Sam Downey, both of them, did really well on that pitch. To be ill and go out there and play is really, really good. That shows that they care for the club. It shows they want to play for the club, and they'll do anything, even if they're ill, they'll play. So Sam Hart gets a 6 from me. Did really well, I thought, for him being ill as well. Next up is Harry Owen. Harry Owen was probably one of our better players on the day, so Harry Owen gets a 7 from me. Harry Owen, like I said, one of the better players. Definitely second half. He made, I think, 2 vital blocks. There was one where they had a shot he blocked, and there was another one where it was a block and a tackle, or a tackle and a block. Credit to Harry Owen. Very, very good. Very, very good. Hope he stays. Said this the whole time. Hope he stays. Really good defender. Got a lot of time in his hands. He makes the odd mistake here and there, but he does really well for most of the game anyway. And he will learn to go for the whole 90, playing at a very high standard. And Harry Owen, heck of a player, heck of a defender, gets a 7 from me. Next up is Alex Downs. Also, shout out to Alex Downs as well for having a head injury a few minutes into the game and to get on with it, and to carry on with a head injury with a bandage on his head. So fair play to Alex Downs. Alex Downs gets a 7 from me. Did really well, I thought. He got the assist for Tom McCready's goal at the end. Did really well to win it back. Was driving like he usually does. You playing really well. I think he was also one of our better players on the pitch. So Alex Downs 7 from me, and to be fair to him, he could have come off with that head injury, but he's still on the pitch, and again he loves the club and wants to take part no matter what the cost is. So fair play to Downsy. A bit like both Sams wanted to play and continue on. as much as possible and tried to give his 100% best throughout the whole game. So Alex Downs 7. Next up is Sam Downey. I said this before. Sam Downey gets a 6 from me. Like I said before with Sam Hart, the same situation. I think Sam Downey's actually feeling worse than Sam Hart, but Sam Downey gets a 6 as well. He came off at half time, did really, really well, but you can tell he wasn't right, and that's just, it happens, doesn't it? It happens to everyone, doesn't it? And, you know, again, like I said with Sam Hart, wanted to play, and he did. So yeah, Sam Downey gets a 6 from me, just did really well for him being ill as well. Next up is Tom McCready. Tom McCready gets a 7 from me. His goal gives him that extra rating, I think. It was a well-taken goal. He had another chance, I think, 5 minutes-ish before, where he took an extra touch, should have taken the shot, and maybe it would have gone in, because it was, I think, a bit closer range than the one he scored from, but about 2-3 yards closer. Just didn't take his chance when he should have probably just hit it. But and we've been doing that all season as well, taking that extra touch, and that's because we're trying too hard. Tom McCready just hit it at the end and it went in. Maybe we'd need to do that a bit more often. But Tom McCready gets a 7 from me. Next up is Kai Owen. Kai Owen, this might be a bit harsh. Kai Owen gets a 6 from me. It's a bit harsh, maybe. But I feel like if I give the other players a 7 for those reasons, I don't think Kai gets a 7. But I do think he played really well. He's a very high 6. And Kai, again, everywhere on the pitch, did really, really well, I thought. And yeah, Kai Owen, 6 from me. I thought he did okay. Not the best player on the pitch, and definitely not the worst player on the pitch. Next up is Jamie Cumming. Jamie Cumming gets a 7 from me. Jamie was one of our better players on the day. He was doing really well first and second half throughout the whole game. Did really well until he got subbed off, I think it was, but he did really well. And fair play to Jay, he's had a great season, and Jamie Cumming gets a 7 from me. Next up is Udi Akpan. Udi Akpan gets a 6. Not his lowest score. Put it that way. Like I said before, I did him for a 2 for Aberystwyth, I think it was. But Udi Akpan gets a 6. He had a great strike that was a great save ultimately by Zach Jones from Haverfordwest. But Udi was being handled a bit too much. Udi needs to, if he's got the ball, someone needs to show for him, go to him and call for the pass so he can pass it to them, because no one's doing that, and Udi's trying to hold the ball as much as he can. He had about 3 players on him at one point and he lost the ball. I mean, if you're not going to go to him and he's got to hold the ball, how is he supposed to hold the ball against 3 people? It's very hard. 3 players against is very hard. So, in all fairness to Udi, that's why he plays better with someone up front. He's got that support with him, and that's how he plays. So, Udi Akpan gets a 6 from me. Not his worst game, not his best game, like most of these plays on Saturday. Next up and the last one, the start 11. Next up is Matty Hill. Matty Hill gets a 7 from me. Matty Hill, I think, did quite well. You know, first half definitely, second half, I think he was a bit quiet at times. First half, he was definitely being involved in a lot of the long throws into the box from the throw-ins. And yeah, just Matty Hill, I think he had a good game, so Matty Hill gets a 7 from me. We're going on the subs now. Substitutions. The first one being, this is in a random order, by the way. The first one being Tommy Creamer. Tommy Creamer gets a 7 from me. I think he was one of our better players, especially when he came on as well. Tommy Creamer, 7. Did everything really good. Apart from the slip at one point, but he just slipped over. I think it was because it was wet, the grass. But yeah, Tommy Creamer, 7 from me. Had a great game. To be fair to him, and yeah, hopefully he can have another good game against Barry when we need it this weekend on Sunday at 2:15. We need to go back to Bay as well, and I'll go more detail about that at the end of the video. Next up is Owen Cushion. Owen Cushion gets a 6 from me, purely because he came in with about 9 minutes, about 10 minutes left of the game. So they didn't really make that much of an impact. But Owen Cushion, fair play to him, getting some minutes in. That's all that matters for him, and trying to see if he can prove anything for a start maybe for our last game of the season. But Owen Cushion gets a 6 from me, which is the average rating. Next up is Dan Jones. Dan Jones also gets a 6 from me. I can't think of much he did incredible or great, but I can't think of anything he did poor, so we're just going to give him a match rating of 6. Next up is Dan Atkins. Dan Atkins gets a 7 from me. Look, I think he did quite well, he did. He was trying, and to be fair to him, he pushed over someone who's about double his height. So I don't know how that works, but I thought pushing the back was allowed in this league. To be fair, the amount of times it happened to us, not just that game, throughout the whole season, and then we do it to them, free kick given. It just does not make sense. Officiating is poor, but fair play to Dan. Did well. Looked energetic when he came on. So Dan Atkins gets a 7 from me. And last, but finally least, I don't know if that made any sense. Last and finally least, maybe, I don't know. Last but not least, that's the saying. Steph Eds. Steph Eds gets a 6 from me. He was out wide. It was a bit like Kai a few weeks ago. He was out wide, and he wanted the ball. He was in space. No one just gave it him. And I think when he was on the ball, trying to make things happen, fair play to Steph. And also he's 34 as well, so fair play. Steph Eds gets a 6 from me. So that is my player ratings done within 12 minutes of this video. So that's good going. Like I said, midway through the substitution ratings, we've got to back the Bay this weekend. The game is on Sunday. Don't know what date it is. This Sunday, against Barry Town at Carnelian Road. Everyone needs to get behind the Bay. We need to back the Bay. We need an atmosphere. If there's an atmosphere, I think we'll win. If we win, we could go down, but if we win, we could stay up, depending on the Aber and Ponty draw. That's what we want, depending on the Aber and Ponty result, which hopefully is a draw. But yeah, we need a win. If anything less, and we're down. So the boys, I think, know that's what's at stake, and they'll be wanting to really try. And I think no matter who plays against Barry this weekend, they will all give 100%, all of them, and every single one of them should be proud of themselves for competing this far. Every single one. We've gotten to the last game, and even if we go down, you should pat yourselves on the back, boys, because you did really, really well all season. Had that fighting spirit in you. I think at one point we must have been, I won't say far away from relegation, but 4 or 5 points away maybe, I think. And we brought it back to the last game where we're 2 points off. If we win, we survive. It is fair play. And to be having newcomers coming into the squad, people leaving, having probably about half the squad go and half the squad come in, it's very difficult to gel together. New players coming in January as well. It's not always easy, and we've really, really tried. We've never been in the Cumbria Prem before. It's a massive achievement, and to stay in it will be even a bigger achievement. But we can only do that with if you're back the Bay this weekend, this Sunday. It is going to be a massive, 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 massive game. Couldn't say that enough. It's massive. Biggest game of the season. It's do or die, basically. We go down, we stay up. That's what's at stake, and we just need the win. Just the win. 1-0 will do. 1-0 will do. Udi Akpan score the winner in the 90-odd minute. I'm calling it right now. No, don't score in the 90th minute, because that will just make me frustrated the whole game. But yeah, we need to get behind the Bay. We need to sing and make it a good, and it could be our last day in the Prem. And yeah, if we go down, Maybe we'll come back up, maybe we won't. Maybe we'll be challenging, maybe we won't. Maybe it's got to be a rebuild. But we've got to back them. One more game. That's all I'm asking. One game. And it's a massive one. Atmosphere. That's what they need, is an atmosphere. Throughout the whole 90. Not if we're winning. Well, yes, obviously if we're winning. But not if we're losing. You do it as well. You sing. Don't be quiet. You got to sing. And I'll be trying to start a few chants this weekend. So, yeah, sorry this has gone on for a bit longer at the end. But yeah, got to back the Bay. So yeah, if you did like this video, leave it a like, comment, and feel free to subscribe if you do like the content you see on this channel. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you all later. Bye!